Speakerface Podcast.
Yeah, peace, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Speakerface Podcast. We got my man Eli in the house, you know what I'm saying? It's going down. Exceptional people, they're always just a little bit different. Because most of the shit out there, well, I don't care, but it doesn't really spark my interest. Someday the future, it will be the past. Don't live too fast, your face gas. Today I spiral into the orbit. Today I spiral into some morbid. Clear conscious, clear vision. Take a bow, ring a bell, make a collision, rip up a picture, delete a contact. Don't wanna sit on the throne, I never ever want that. A deadly game of musical chairs. An old walrus pulling out some old ear hairs. Interpret identity, no tricks, no gimmicks, and piece of living legends in episode 6.
And now a word from our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by Aliens Built Earth. It's a clothing brand for the conspiracy theorists out there, the ones who just want to have fun. You know, it's not for the ones that are negative or the nihilists, you know, those type of conspiracy theorists, the ones that are just paranoid and they think everything is out to get them and there's some big old plan against them and the earth is going to like implode or explode, you know, or catch on fire or freeze. No, the Aliens Built Earth. It's a clothing brand that you can get them at thealiencon.com, or you can check them out at Fringe FM at the Rogie Report Show. You know what I'm saying? Aliens Built Earth is on Instagram at aliens_built_earth. So Aliens Built Earth. They've been here all along. You must believe. You must believe. Thealiencon.com.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Guess what? The Ballistic Carnival is in town.
Yeah, the carnival. That was a great idea. I remember going with my mom and dad to all those crazy carnivals where the centaurs were fighting all the other wild animals until there was blood all over our shoes. Those were the days. Those are some fabulous acts. We loved it. Come on, family. We're going to the Ballistic Carnival. This weekend, the gnomes are going to fight the imps.
Take your family to the Ballistic Carnival, located at the Dark Forest Theater. See the mighty ogres and the subterranean trolls. Enjoy the side-splitting laughs from those little shithead monster antics. And don't miss your chance to win a headbutt from a witch. It's all located at Dark Forest Theater from January to January. Tickets on sale now. Log in to bacarnival.com for more information. Or get your tickets today at the Dark Forest Theater box office, located behind the cave next to the rock where all the good sacrifices are made. P.O. Box, I don't know, call 724-HYDRA. That's 724-HYDRA, the Ballistic Carnival. That's where your family has fun.
Speakerface Podcast.
Peace, everybody, and welcome to the Speakerface Podcast. Today, we got my man Eli. That's right. From the Mighty Living Legends crew and G&E. He was also in a group way back in the day with my shapeshifter homie, Radio Inactive. They had a group called Log Cabin with Merce. That shit was dope. Yeah, Eli, man. What can I say? He's been in the game for a long time. He's always crushing it. He's a rapper, a producer. He's an artist. He's a on different mediums. He's a digital artist as well as, a physical artist, and I've known him for a minute, a long time actually, and we've done quite a few shows together and stuff, and he's always been a good cat, and I always dig his perseverance, and he's a survivor, you know what I'm saying, and he's very conscious, and just being conscious kind of, it brings me to what I've been thinking lately, about we as human beings in general, we all like what consumes our time, like what are we filling our time with, when you fill it with family and you fill it with things that you're supposed to do, and you fill it with things in your heart, that's when you start just kind of feeling better about everything and everybody, when you feel bad about yourself, it projects and you start kind of putting it on other people, so how are we all protecting our mind? Do we care about what we put in our eyes? We should be a little bit more careful about what we look at, even on accident. What do we listen to? Are we careful what goes in our ears? I mean, these are our gates to our brains, so we should be as careful as possible and guard our mind, which is our treasure, right? Yeah, I don't know. We're constantly bombarded with images that we don't need. We have to process them still. We have sounds we don't need. We still got to process that. I mean, there's hypnotic songs with messages that we have no idea about, that we listen to on accident. But I guess, the key might be, maybe to squash anxiety is not a pill or any type of chemical. And maybe the key is just to simplify your surroundings and protect your inner circle. I think we all need to stop thinking that. We all need to really kind of stop caring what other people think or if other people care about us. I think as long as your immediate surroundings care about you, you should be content, not searching for like external validation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we should just kind of be a little bit quiet a little more often. Our minds need to be bored, and whenever you're bored, your mind automatically reverts to the last few things you put in it. So if you put some bad shit in there, it's going to revert to that shit, So try to fill it with good shit. That way your default thoughts have good content. You know what I'm saying? And because society as a whole has been bred to, lately, I feel like everyone's been bred like to be like some kind of narcissistic culture. And if we all simplify and slow down and consume a little less, I think anxiety will slowly wash away, But yeah, I mean, that's why we love art. We love people that create art because it brings something to the world. So check out this conversation with my man Eli. He definitely brings a lot of beautiful art into this world. So check it out.
Oh, yeah, how are you, bro?
Word up. Peace, dude. How are you, man?
Man, I'm good, dude. Never been so busy in my life, and it's a blessing, bro.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, man, you're always fucking crushing it, dude.
Oh, thank you, bro. Man, I mean, becoming a dad has added a entirely new layer to life that, as you know, is game changer. So,
yeah.
Not only does it, I mean, if you want to be a dad for real and be there for your child or children, then it takes a lot of presence, and at the same time balancing it out with just going hard in the paint in the other direction, creatively and networking, and always striving to build something bigger. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, definitely. The effort is, there's a huge reward in all of that.
Right.
Yeah, man. So, like, I mean, I know you got so much shit going on. I'm just grab a couple little things out there, you know.
Yeah.
So you have a new NFT about to drop, right?
The NFT dropped already, bro. It dropped a week ago.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah. I've seen the art, man. It's fantastic.
Thank you, bro. Man, talk about, like, anxiety and, like, nervousness before something coming out. This was on a whole nother level because there's so much technology involved that I don't completely I'm starting to understand it, especially since this drop happened. I was highly involved in everything behind the scenes, trying to understand the way contracts work and blockchain, and it was just a lot of intricate shit that could go wrong. And if it goes wrong and you got all these people ready, just like, I'm ready to support, I'm ready to buy, and then you're like, guys, the shit's broken, I need 2 days to fix it. Like, all the momentum just goes into the fucking hole, into the ground. You're like, God damn, dude, just lost it. So, but it went off without a hitch, bro. Sold out in 55 minutes, man.
Nice.
I was like, wow. I was overwhelmed with gratitude. I was just like, damn, man. So,
dude, it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because that's a community in itself. Just like you, I'm still learning. Like,
right.
A couple other cats got me into it. And like long hair and Tumax, and so like I've been learning as I go along. But the big thing that I'm finding out is this is a whole other community of artists.
Oh, bro. I have so much game to drop on you about the community aspect of this whole thing. You just let me know when to go, because you won't be able to shut me up.
Oh, go ahead, man.
I mean, you want me to go now? Just go. Okay.
Yeah, just run with it.
I can tell you that if you were to ask me, like, what's the best way for me to get integrated into the space and just, like, start understanding shit more, and you're doing exactly what you should be doing. You should be jumping in the pool even though you don't know how to swim, because, I mean, that's how I got into it. I jumped into it a year and a half ago and got in with selling one-of-one art pieces, because, I'm an artist, visual artist as well. So I was like, let me get in the space with just my visual art. This seems like the easiest entry for me. Even getting in, not understanding how any of this shit works, just having this anxiety in my stomach, like, I have to get in. I have to get in. There's something about this is pulling me in. I got to get in. I'll learn as I go. And I did. And I had some early success. Like, all the first year, I sold quite a few one-of-ones. And now some of these people were crypto enthusiasts that happened to be fans of me and of our scene in general. So they knew, and they were like, oh, shit, Eli got an NFT. I'm on it. But then, a lot of patience and quickly realizing that if you come into the NFT space thinking, I'm gonna just sell my shit and make money, and that's gonna be about it, it's like you're sorely mistaken. I quickly learned.
Yeah, right.
It's about, like, I'm like, okay, I sold my first piece. I ended up spending all that ETH on other artists, because I realized, dude, if you're here to take and not give, you're just not going to happen for you. It's like I started collecting other people's shit, and then that became sort of addictive, of just like, because the response you get when you collect someone's piece, they're just overwhelmingly like, oh my God, thank you, it means so much to me. And next thing you know, you're people are following you, you're following other people, you're following a bunch of artists who you're just discovering on a daily basis. You're retweeting and helping other artists get exposure. And that was like pretty much my first year of the space, really all in the one-of-one art space, because that's just one corner of everything. I didn't even get into the PFP side where, the Bored Ape stuff, and I even saw that when it came out and didn't fucking buy it. I was like, God damn. That would have been a house for me, but oh well. But I didn't get into that side of collecting PFPs until this year. And I also didn't get into Twitter Spaces, bro. Like, I know have you seen Twitter Spaces? You know what those are?
A little bit. I do realize that the NFT community is heavy on Twitter, man.
Oh, that's number one. Like, that is where the community is. I mean, period. IG is, dude, I barely use IG anymore. I'm on Twitter every single day. I spend all my time on Twitter. And so, like, when I first jumped into the space, I had like 18,000 followers, all obviously hip-hop fans. And then now I have like 26,000. And so I would say that I have about 8,000 NFT-related followers.
Sick.
And it's really dope, but it's like it really accelerated once I started getting into these Twitter spaces. I completely ignored them until about 6 months ago. I'm like, let me just go into one of these spaces. And basically, they're just voice chats. You step into a space, you see everybody's profile picture. You're like, oh, there's AWOL right there. Oh, there's Tumex. Oh, there's fucking Shaq. Oh, there's what. And you just see people in a space, right? And the space is hosted by someone who starts the space, and they kind of run the space how they want to run it. Maybe they have a co-host, and then people raise their hands to get on stage, quote unquote stage, to speak or share or ask questions, and they'll be pulled up. And it's basically just that. It's just that. It's a voice chat, and they have them on every topic you can imagine, right? Every single day, all day long. And so I started jumping into these spaces and quickly realized, whoa, like I'm not just reading text anymore. So I've always had like a really, a good ability to read people pretty quickly, just based on their energy, how they speak, talk. So when I jump in these rooms and I hear people sharing, and I'm like, oh my, this dude is brilliant, man. I need to connect with this guy. I don't know wwhy, but I feel like I need to connect with him or her, or there could be something here, and you end up DMing people after, like, yo, it's a great share you had. Let's connect. Da, da, da. And that just has become like a straight accelerator in the space, to where I'm just making all these connections, and then I start realizing some of these people that I really like. Oh, they all have alien friends, right? Oh, they all have this specific the PFP community, and I'm like,
right,
right. So then you're like, I really fuck with these people right here, so I'm gonna buy an alien friend because I want to be in that community too. And so you start realizing different communities where you really vibe with certain people that are involved in it. So you sort of start investing in PFP communities based on the people you are meeting. It's all based on the people. And so I'm invested in a couple of communities where I really highly fuck with the people. The art is cool too, but the art is secondary to me in that sense. So for you, I mean, I would just be like, Tony, jump into some spaces, bro. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. I had no idea that it was like how you explained it, because I thought it was just another room where people are text, just another chat type of a thing. So I had no idea that it was so interactive like that.
It's so interactive, and not only that, I mean, you could literally follow me. You could see that when you tap on my my profile, you'll see my profile picture will have a purple circle around it. It's glowing. That means I'm in a space. You tap on that, and you follow me into a space, and just sit in there. You don't have to say shit.
Yeah, I'll check it out next time for sure, man. That sounds interesting, dude.
Yeah, and there's so many spaces where you can just kind of learn the nuances of and the lingo. There's so many words and things that you're like, what the fuck does that mean? In the beginning, I was just like, what is that? It keeps using this word. What does it mean? And sometimes I Google phrases, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then eventually you're saying it yourself because you're just so highly into it.
Yeah.
Before I ever considered dropping my first music NFT, which I just did last week, I was in spaces 4 months straight, networking, raising my hand, saying, hey guys, my name's Eli, and I've been making underground independent hip hop and art for 25 years, and I'm here, and I'm just ready to build, excited to meet you. You just kind of like introduce yourself, man, and people are mad cool, man.
That is awesome, man. That's a great approach, dude. That's a great approach.
It's the way, bro, because if you try and if you just jump in and you're like, I'm going to put out my first music NFT, I'm going to make 300 of them and expect there to be a crowd there to buy it, you're sorting a mistake. And even me, who I quickly realized that, I've been doing this for a long time on this side of the fence, but it means absolutely shit in this new space. All these people, they don't know who I am. There are sprinkled out throughout people that have shown themselves to know my music and have like told me even later after I already knew him for a while, yeah, man, I grew up on your stuff. I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me that?
Right?
But most people don't. And you know how fun it is to be an artist as long as we've been doing it and have new people.
Oh, yeah.
I just discovered you through this space. Someone was talking about your music. I heard a song. Then I went through and I saw you have a giant catalog and I'm blown away, new fan. That's the best feeling, bro. Best feeling.
Right?
So that's what I would definitely tell you is jump in and feel your way around, start seeing which communities you vibe with and go from there, because this is like a second life for us as indie artists who have been doing it so long. If you really, and you're an artist too, aren't you? You're a visual artist. You draw.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we even have like a little, like an NFT crew, Secret Saviors, and been doing these little hip hop cards, and we did a couple collabs with like Cyber Vandals and Blockchain Heroes, and so yeah. I mean, we're getting into it, and I'm finding out, like, that's what I'm saying. That's how I found out, like, man, this is a real community of like connoisseurs that everybody kind of supports each other, and all the fake shit, they could see right through that shit. They could see like some artist that just wants to do an NFT because it's hot, and nobody buys the shit. They see right through it, dude.
That's exactly right, and that's like you got most big stars, quote unquote, like Chris Brown and this such and such come into space thinking I got 25 million followers, I'm gonna smash this shit, and they're not present, or they have their management in spaces, or it's like, dude, no one is falling for that shit. It's not gonna work. So I love it, and no doubt, bro, like eventually the big corporations, the labels, they're coming in. They're gonna try and dilute and shit in the space and take it away, basically.
Of course.
And so it's going to take a bunch of people to really kind of hold their ground eventually and be like, nah, man, this is our thing. If you want to be here, do it like we do it, or fuck off, basically. So we'll see, man.
It's like the real ones always survive, like no matter what kind of genre or industry, like real cats always end up fucking striving and surviving.
Yes. That's absolutely correct. And then I just think the people that absolutely love what they do, love like my fire to create music and draw and all that. It's hotter for me than it's ever been. So, and I'm like, that is the biggest blessing, because there's countless homies of ours, I'm sure you too, that did it from the beginning with us, and they just kind of like stopped because they're just like, I'm over it. And for me, I'm like, there is no over it. This is what I live to do, bro.
Right.
I'm not gonna stop.
Do you think like that, like a lot of the older fans, maybe some that are like maybe a little older than us, or kind of in that certain era, do you think it was hard for them to like catch on to the wax wallets and the crypto, language? And I feel like there's like a certain generation that were just a little bit too old to kind of latch on to that.
What's interesting is in the spaces, this is just a microcosm thought, but like you'll be in a space, I've become, exchange numbers like text and phone call friendly with this dude, Eric Ebron, who's an NFL tight end, bro. And I'm a huge fucking fantasy football nerd. I don't know if that's something you don't know about me. I've been heavy in the fantasy for 13 years, bro.
Shit.
I know every player on every team. Is ridiculous. I'm such a nerd. But I knew who Eric Ebron was because I've even had him on teams in the past. He's one NFL player that's been in the space every day, building, doing his own thing, genuine good dude, father, just a good dude, right, period. And so you're in a room and you got NFL tight end over here. You got a kid who still lives in his mother's basement who's fucking brilliant and just knows so much about the space. You got 43-year-old, 44-year-old rappers like me that are in the space. You got Hollywood writers and directors that are high up in the space, all together, bro, together, and we're all building it on the same kind of level. No one is trying to be above anyone else. We're all learning. We're all like interested to see where this is all going. So in that sense, No, there's some guy. There's one guy that comes to mind who's like older than us, probably mid-50s, somewhere in that area, and he's like ex-punk drummer and performer, and he tells me all the time that he used to tour all the time with his punk band. He's in the space heavy. Like, so there's people that there's somebody's grandma that I met in the space. Like, I just want to know what's going on. This is exciting. And people are all here, dude, from every walk, from 12-year-olds to 80-year-olds, and from all statures. And it's pretty exciting in that sense, man.
That's sick, man. I'm hyped that you're so involved in it. You know, that's dope.
Yeah, bro. I'm deep in it, man. If you ever, you know, like I said, text me anytime if you have any questions or like, what should I do here or whatever. I know you're already active doing your thing, but there's so much more.
Oh, I got questions, man. Yeah, I'm a student, dude. I got questions, man, about.
For sure, bro.
Yeah. Word up, dude. Okay. So something that I wanted to ask you about was something that, you know, we all deal with, and do you have words of encouragement for people that struggle with addiction? You know, I know.
Absolutely.
You know, yeah, because especially living out here, man, we know too many fallen soldiers, and you know, it's harder than ever nowadays to, you know, kind of keep your mind right and guard your gates, you know, guard your eyes and your ears and shit. So
absolutely, bro. Especially since COVID hit, like, I couldn't imagine getting clean during COVID, where there is no meetings. There is no active AA and NA meetings. You have to go on Zoom if you want to get clean. So you're still isolated in your house trying to get into a meeting and be around people, but you can't. But people did it. People have been doing it, getting clean during the pandemic and shit, and meetings are back open. But here is where I always start with somebody who, by the way, like, when anyone brings up recovery with social media, etc., I'm like, my DMs are always open, my emails are always open. Holler, I'm always going to get back at you. Like, it's just, that's something that I will not falter on. Like, I just always want to reach back out when somebody's looking for anything, because it really, all it might take is someone taking some time to give their story, their own story, to show what I did in order to get where I'm at, and also not bullshitting or being nice and just being straight to the point. Like, so for me, I always tell people, like, without NA, without Narcotics Anonymous, I wouldn't have stayed clean. And without rehab in the very beginning, I couldn't have even got to the meetings, because I was just too much in pain trying to get clean. Like, I was an opiate addict, so you try to drop the opiates and the dope and the fucking pills and everything. It's like unbearable pain, right? And I just couldn't do it until finally I got to a point of desperation where I was like, all right, man, if I don't go find a rehab, I'm going to die. And I don't want to die. I didn't want to die. I just, you know, I was just done, bro. And so rehab, if anyone out there is struggling, like, rehab is, man, if you can do it, if you can find somewhere to take you in, that is absolutely number one on the list.
Yeah, and there's tons of programs nowadays that people can get enrolled and find financial assistance.
Right. There's always a way when you really want, if you really want it, you're going to be able to find a way, and the universe will assist, because when you try and make a big change like this, I just feel like, you know, quote unquote, the angels will pull you in. They'll get you to where you need to go.
That's true.
But once you get there, it's really just a matter of surrendering to the fact that nothing is on the table for you anymore. At least for me, that was my first realization. I got to rehab. I literally told the counselor, first day there, you know, I'm done with the dope. I'm done with the hard shit. I don't want to drink anymore, but I got to smoke weed, because weed is part of my, you know, it's part of my creative process. I've always smoked weed. And she's just shaking her head at me, and I stopped talking. I'm like, what makes you think you can just smoke weed? What makes you think you can just do anything? She's like, nuh-uh, you're done. And I'm like, I panic. I'm like, fuck, you're right. I'm fucking done. And I tell the story all the time, because it's when I realized that, at least for an artist, this kind of mentality is pertinent, because 3 days later, I'm hitting up my boy Lucky, who's the one that drove me to rehab and put me in there. And I said, dude, bring me my MPC, man, please. Like, I'm fiending to make a beat. And so all that I need weed to be inspired shit went out the window when my MPC got brought to me, and I was like, sick, ready to go. And I realized then, like, dude, my desire to create comes from a higher source. It doesn't come from anything I put in my body. Nothing. Right. Has nothing to do with anything. So that in itself became a high on its own. That became the natural high that I'd always been looking for, but was thinking it was coming from somewhere else. But I would definitely tell people, if you get into rehab, go there. Go somewhere where they're taking your ass to meetings. It's not just get clean off the dope and think you're good, because our brains work differently than other people, man. I have, God willing, in October I'll have 17 years clean, bro, from all drug, everything, right? Nice. Yeah, thank you, bro. And I still, to this day, if you put a box of cookies in front of me, I'm eating the whole fucking box of cookies, bro. I don't know how to stop, bro. Right. I learned early, you take the drugs away. Okay, now guess what? I want to play poker and lose my rent money. Oh, I'm just trying to fuck everything that moves. Sex becomes a thing. Oh, I'm like, let me buy all these Air Max because I just need them. It's there's always something that we're trying to fill this black hole up in our center of ourselves, because our brains work differently. We're not like normal people. I can't just have a joint on the weekend. It just doesn't work like that for me. And if you realize that you are that person, then it's just about, okay, surrender to that fact and get your ass into a meeting. And you don't have to, put your hand up and share right off the bat, but just be there. Just be there and go to as many as you need to go to until you find one where you see people that inspire you and that you want what they have, and then you get your nuts up and go raise your hand or tap them on the shoulder, because most people are open and willing to share what they got, because that's a part of the whole part of the whole credo of why 12-step programs work, is because it's about one addict helping another, and if you don't turn around to grab someone's hand and to show them the way, then it's just, you're going to lose what you got. Right. Because that's what keeps me motivated. And even when I'm so busy being a dad and with all this work at home, and I'm not getting to as many meetings as I used to, that's why I keep my DMs and my emails open to any and everyone who needs any advice, because it feeds my spirit to be able to even just spend time talking to somebody in the email. You know what I mean? Nice. And so that's definitely the advice I would give.
That's great, man. Yeah, that's great advice, man. I wish everybody had that MPC that they could go to when they when they're looking for that something else,
Man, that's a good point, bro. I mean,
some people don't have any hobbies, man. Which
I know.
It's weird.
And you know what? Some people that do come in to rehab and are getting clean, and they don't know what they love. They don't know what they want. That's very common, dude. That's not it's more uncommon. My story's a little more uncommon because I've known what I wanted since 7th grade, and it's why I ended up being a high school dropout, because I was like, tunnel vision. I know what I want. Fuck everything else. I don't care. Yeah,
you have laser focus, dude.
Laser focus.
Like, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. They're so easily distracted. Me too, on occasion.
Sure. I mean, that's also natural, and I obviously went down the wrong path, even in the midst of doing what I wanted to do. But I was going to say that sometimes people get clean, they don't know what they want, but guess what? They jump into AA or NA full force, and that becomes something of a placeholder. It becomes their refuge, and that's fine, dude. Because it's really difficult to find your way in your path if you're being stunted by being numb constantly, and we're avoiding dealing with these buried down issues of darkness and shit that we've been through, trauma, and it's like, how are we going to get to anything if we don't deal with that? So get clean first, and then figure the rest out later, bro.
Like listening to people's testimonies, and you're just like, you know, sometimes people had it way rougher, and they're just like, man, they brought themselves out of the gutter, you know, a few times, and that's inspiring in itself, man, because you're
absolutely, bro.
Survivors, dude.
Yeah,
survivors
for sure, bro.
Word up, dude. Maybe let's leave it on a little lighter note. How did you end up making a beat for John Cena, man? I'm recently finding out that he's just a big indie hip hop fan, and I was like, he really is, like he really truly is. And then when I found out you made a beat for him too, I was like, oh, that's even doper, man. He's really in it. He's in it.
That's a question 20 years too late. Excuse me, John Cena, man. You know, I don't even remember it. So I remember that where I was actually. I was in London with Merce and Scarab, and we had rented a house in the suburbs of London, 40 minutes outside of London, to record our album Caravan of Rim of the World. And I brought my whole studio in a big ass box. We set it up in this little suburb house, and we were, you know, set up for a month. We were there for a month, and I got a call, and it was someone who was managing me as a producer at that point. I experimented with having a beat manager who I would give a bunch of beats to, and then he would go shopping around. And he said, John Cena wants a beat. I'm like, John Cena? And the only reason why I knew who he was is because Merce is a huge wrestling fan. So Merce knew exactly who he was, and Merce even has a video with John Cena body slamming him into a trash can. Shit. So he's a huge John Cena. And I'm like, man.
Yeah, Peacemaker is so fucking dope. I don't know if you've watched it yet, but that shit is amazing, dude.
No, I haven't watched it.
It's funny. It's dark. That shit it's mad original, dude. You gotta check it out when you get a chance.
Yeah, John Cena's a cool dude, man. I never met him in person, but I knew, like you said, he is a big indie hip hop fan. He probably knows the whole underground crew, LA and the Bay. He's just a big fan. So he picked the beat from the stash, and I remember he was like, "What do you want to ask for?" I'm like, "Damn, I don't know, $10K." And he hits me back. He's like, "Done." I'm like, "Damn, I should have said $20K." Fucking done. Nah, but he was a huge fucking multi-millionaire, like huge star, and it was an honor. But I remember hearing the song after, and I was like, "Oh shit, this dude could actually rap, kind of."
Oh shit! So he dropped on the cut.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
it was the first song on his debut album. First song was the beat I made. If I hear the beat now, it's like I'm nauseous. I'm like, oh, that beat is so bad.
I never listened to old shit.
Yeah, dude, he kind of killed it though. He could actually rap. I was very. I had no idea. I thought this dude's gonna be terrible. He's a wrestler. But
remember those old wrestler albums? They're like Super Bowl, not Super Bowl Shuffle, but it's kind of
It was like the Chicago Bears, and they were like doing terrible raps. So it was the worst shit I ever seen. That's probably what I had in my head when I heard John Cena wanted this beat, but he actually could rap, and it was refreshing and dope. So yeah, that's quite a memory, man. That's 2001, somewhere around there.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, I really appreciate your time, man. You're always fucking crushing it, and you know, in our circle, we all love you, and we dig your energy, and you know, so man, just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yes, sir. I have no other desire to do anything else. And like I said, man, reach out if you have any kind of questions about the NFT space or anything like that, man.
Word up. Yes, sir. I'll reach out to you real soon, man.
All right, Tony.
Peace, brother. Have a good day, man.
Peace, my guy.
Speakerface Podcast.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Clint Horsewood. Horse Clint.
Want a front what? Jump up and get bucked. You feel lucky duck, then press your luck. I snatch fake gangster MCs and make a flambe. My nine spray, my mind spray, malignant mist that'll leave clump defunct. With soldier remains stuffed in a car trunk. Couldn't come to jungles of the east, popping that yang, you won't survive, get live, catch a wreck is a thing. I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang. Relentless lyrics, the only dope I slang. I'm a true master, you can check my credentials. I choose to use my infinite potential. Got a freaky flow in control of the mic. Like Fidel Castro, like Cuba, so deep that you can't scuba dive and jive. Origin is unknown like the Jubas on the map. Rather bust a cat on your back and faggot rap, snack the sacroiliac. Well, I'm the Mac, so I don't need to be told a Mac. My attack is purely mental. And the nature I made is meant to wake you up out of your brainwashed state, stagnant nonsense. If you persist, you'll get your snot box bust. You press up on this, I flip, hose dip. None of the real suckers skip. You don't know math and mics that'll rip. Peep the dirty rotten scamp as the verbal weapon spit. Yeah, heads up, 'cause I'm dropping some shit. I'm dropping some shit. Peace to J. Rue the Damager. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.